Our 12 Logro method is really all about getting you to communicate and speak Spanish confidently within 12 logros. Logros, if you remember from last week, is a translation of milestones. So we are jumping into a preview of Logro 2, again, and talking about one of the lessons within Logro 2 called the Super 7. If you are familiar with the Super 7, you'll know that these are the most common 7 verbs that you're going to use in everyday Spanish. Just an intertwining of the most useful verbs within our program. And so we want to introduce you to these verbs as soon as possible so that you can start communicating as soon as possible. Let's jump right on in to see what these Super 7 verbs are. So 7 verbs, 1,000 sentences. So just think about, hey, what if you couldn't say have or has in English? What if you couldn't say be? So I am, you are, he is, etc. Our whole communication in any language really relies on verbs like these. So same is true in Spanish and in many verbs, okay? So here are your Super 7 that we're going to talk about today. The verb tener, querer, ser, gustar, and ir. So you can see a quick preview of what each of these verbs translates as. And I do want you to note that I is a special form of a verb, and that's okay because we are going to jump in to teach you everything you need to know about them. So move along here to estar. So estar, you notice that estar and ser both translate as to be, but estar is used for location and temporary conditions. Here's how estar is conjugated. So remember, conjugation is breaking down a verb into 5 different forms. We're focusing on Central Latin American Spanish, and these are the 5 forms for estar. The yo is estoy, tú is estás, él, ella, usted está, nosotros estamos, ustedes, ellos, and ellas están. Okay. We've got a few sentences here. To take a quick screenshot of those, that would be great, but I'm just going to go through a couple of these. Yo estoy feliz porque estás estudiando español. I am happy because you are studying Spanish. Ustedes están en la biblioteca para la clase hoy. You all are in the library for class today. All right, so I is unique. It's from the verb haber, and it literally means there is and there are. We don't have to change it to make it plural or singular. Hay 5 personas en la clase. There are 5 people in the class. Hay un problema con el orden, or more like a question. Hay un problema con el orden. Orden, is there a problem with the order? Okay, tener. Tener, of course, we cannot go without the verb to have. And you'll notice that this is an irregular verb, and it's also a stem changing verb because you see that the E changes to an IE for tú, él, ella, usted, nosotros, ustedes, ellos, and ellas, okay? Yo tengo 4 hermanos. I have 4 brothers. Ella tiene muchas amigas. She has a lot of friends. Okay, so fun fact about tener. Tener can also be used to mean to be. Okay, so tener que plus a verb is have to for Spanish. We actually say to have cold. So yo tengo frío, I have cold. Same thing with how old you are, being sleepy, being hungry, being thirsty, being in a hurry, being scared. All of these are not going to follow what we think in English. Tener, it's going to be to have these things. So useful. I have to go to work. Tengo que ir al trabajo. I want you to pause the video and tell me if you have 3 siblings and you are a little scared of dogs, how would you say that using tener? Probably. Hopefully you didn't peek. I don't know. Tengo 3 hermanos. Tengo miedo de los perros. Okay. That's how we would say that. All right. Number 4, I believe this is. This is to be as well. Now, this is what we use when we're talking about descriptions, occupations, characteristics, time, or relationships. These things are more permanent. Tú eres alta. You are tall. Ellos son de Nevada. They are from Nevada. That's not going to change. They will always be from Nevada. Okay. There are estar. All right. We're thinking things that usually don't change. Estar is used for things that can change. Yeah, let's take the next verb, gustar, like in English, but technically it means to please. We either say me gusta or me gustan. A mí me gusta el chocolate. In English, we would say, I like chocolate. But here we say it a little bit differently. All right, we'll dive more into the reasoning behind that later. Ir, okay, so ir is to go. So here's our formula for ir. Ir a, then what you're going to do, the infinitive form of the verb. And then where you're going or what you're going to do. I'm going to eat McDonald's, what you're going to do. However, a place, we can also use this for places. Tú vas al trabajo. Last but not least, querer. Querer is a stem changing verb and so necessary. We're always talking about what we want or don't want to do versus don't want to do. Quiero ir a la playa. I want to go to the beach. She wants to be president of her company. All right, last but not least, say what you like, where you're going this weekend, and what you want to do there. I'll leave this for homework for you to do on your own and see what you can come up with. Take a quick screenshot of this so that you can practice it. So hopefully that helps. 7 verbs unlocked. Okay, ser is what we use for things that stay the same. Estar is how we feel, where we are, things that will change, right? Gustar flips. So we'll talk and dive more deep, but I hope that you got a general gist of how we'll use this verb immediately. Tener has some amazing idioms and some amazing phrases that you'll want to know and use because usually we use the to be verb in English for this. So this is something that we have to change our minds a little bit about to get confident in it with Spanish. Amazing job. And I hope to see you in our next video preview of our 12 Logro method. Hasta pronto.